Hello guys, welcome to the PEDIATRICS MRB 2025 recall session, Pediatrics. This is Dr. Chandini. So we'll be seeing the pediatric questions which has been asked in the recent MRB exam which happened last week. Yes, there's around 5 to 6 questions were from pediatrics. One or two were sandwiched between other subjects and pediatrics, but 3 to 4 were from core pediatrics. So let's start seeing the questions one by one. Okay. The first question, which among the following is the ocular manifestation seen in Wilson disease? Options given were lenticonus, Fleischer ring, sunflower cataract, and oil drop cataract. So if you see among this, we'll go one by one. Lenticonus. So lenticonus is actually a feature usually seen in Alport syndrome. It is seen in Alport syndrome. Okay, it's not a feature of Wilson disease. Fleischer ring, you might get confused here. They have not given you Kayser-Fleischer ring. If the option was Kayser-Fleischer ring, then you can go for it. But here it is given only Fleischer ring. So Fleischer ring is usually seen because of deposition of iron. Okay. KF ring is because of deposition of copper in Wilson. But the Fleischer ring, if they give it, is because of iron deposition, which is a feature of keratoconus. So that is ruled out. These two are ruled out. Third one, sunflower cataract. Yes, that is a feature of Wilson disease. That is the right answer for this question. Oil drop cataract. No, oil drop cataract is not a feature of Wilson disease. Oil drop cataract usually you see in features like galactosemia and not. Fine. So for this question, the answer is sunflower cataract. And you could see the exact same thing which has been discussed in our workbook MRB session. So here you can see in our workbook, in Wilson disease, we have extensively discussed about Wilson disease, Kayser-Fleischer ring, and where the Kayser-Fleischer ring is present in the Descemet's membrane. And sunflower cataract is a feature of Wilson disease. So Wilson disease is an autosomal recessive disorder where there is a problem in the copper transport. Because of that, more copper is accumulated, which is being deposited in the Descemet's membrane, which forms the KF ring. It is not the Fleischer ring, it is the Kayser-Fleischer ring. So sunflower cataract is the answer for this question. Moving on to the next question. Undernutrition due to poverty, intake of nutrients, vitamins and minerals is too low to sustain good health and development. What is this? They have asked. Okay. So what all is given in the question if you see? The intake is less to sustain good health and development. So it means that the quality of nutrients the child is taking is not enough to meet the metabolic demand or the nutrient demand of the child. Okay. We'll go one by one. Poverty. See, this could be due to poverty, but you cannot call this as poverty. Because of poverty, the baby is not eating a nutritious meal, but this is not poverty. So you cannot call it as poverty. Can it be stunting? No, it could not be stunting. So we have discussed in the class what is stunting, right? Yes, this is straight from our workbook. What is stunting we have discussed here? Yes. So here you can see stunting is height for age below -2 standard deviation is stunting. But here nothing is prescribed or specific regarding the height and also you cannot call this as stunting. Could this be wasting? Yes, no. Again, wasting also we have discussed in class. You know what is wasting? So wasting is when the weight for height is below -2 standard deviation, it is called as wasting. Okay. So stunting and wasting are based on specific parameters when you plot them on growth chart. Just with low nutrient intake or ineffective nutrient intake, you cannot call them as stunting and wasting. So these two are ruled out with what we have seen in the class. So what we are left with is nothing but hidden hunger. Okay, hidden hunger. So what is hidden hunger actually? So hidden hunger is when the nutrition demands are not met. Okay, though the child is eating a quantity of food, but the quality of the food or the quality of the nutrients is not enough to maintain good health. That is called as hidden hunger. So the answer for this is hidden hunger. Yes. Is the third one. Yes, all are freeze sensitive vaccines except they have asked you all these vaccines should not be freezed except they have asked you Rota, DT they have given, hepatitis B, inactivated JE. These were the 4 options given. Okay, so this also we have discussed in the class. This is straight from our class notes, the image-based notes which we discussed. So I have given you the image of the ILR and how will you arrange a vaccine in the ILR as well. So if you look here, I have told in the class also, the lower compartment is where you call as the freezer compartment, the vaccines which are freeze, which can be freeze. So you can see the live vaccines, most of it, OPV, measles, JE, BCG and all here. Okay. But when it is goes above, then it means that you're not supposed to freeze them. Okay. So you can see all the T series vaccine, hepatitis and rota also occupying the middle one. Okay. So among the options given, if you want to select between JE and rota, hepatitis B and DT are surely ruled out, because I've told in the class anything which has T in it, you are not supposed to freeze it. So these two are freeze sensitive. Between rota and JE, if you see the arrangement of vaccine, JE is coming down, above which only is rota. Okay, rota directly you will not freeze it. Okay, fine. So the answer among these two is JE, because JE is kept in the freezer compartment, but rota is kept above. So it according with regards to rota and inactivated JE, which one will you select? Rota comes under freeze sensitive. Inactivated JE can be kept in the freezer compartment. So answer for this is inactivated JE. And this question also we discussed in the class. There are a few set of MCQs we discussed in the class, which was one among this. Which among the following vaccines should not be kept in the lower compartment, which means the freezer compartment. So here we have given. So measles, BCG, OPV and all can be kept, but pentavalent should not be kept. So if you know the components of pentavalent, D and T, we have already discussed are pentavalent. So you should know that D and T should not be freezed. Okay. The next question. What is the substance added to vaccine to increase its efficacy? Stabilizer, adjuvant, antibiotic, preservative. These were the options given. See, here, this is something which is very, very straightforward kind of question. Nothing to think more about and all. Which increases its efficacy? So just by looking at the name itself, you can come to the answer. Stabilizer. See, stabilizer is actually to stabilize the vaccine. Okay, it will not increase the immune response or its efficacy. It is just to stabilize the vaccine. Okay, adjuvant is the one, when it is added, it increases the immunogenicity, it increases the immune response and the efficacy. So the actual answer for this is adjuvant. Antibiotic, straight away you can rule out. What is the use of antibiotic in a vaccine? So usually you don't use other than in certain vaccines, but usually it is not the one which is going to increase its efficacy. Preservatives, yes, preservatives are there to prevent the germs being growing in the vaccines, and it is not actually going to help in increasing the immune response and all. Okay, so among this, it's a straightforward question. Adjuvant is the actual answer for this question. Yes. Next question. Most common type of streptococcus affecting neonates and pregnant women is. This is also very simple and straightforward question. So they've given streptococcus and they've asked you which affects newborn. So newborn neonatal sepsis, if it comes, you should always think of one. What is that? Group B streptococci. Okay. So among A, B, C and F, the answer is actually group B streptococci. Group B streptococci. So you can see a similar kind of question from our MRB leaderboard, question 11. If you could see, this was the question in our MRB leaderboard. What is the most common cause of neonatal sepsis in developing countries? And options were given: E. coli, Staph aureus, Group B, Streptococcus, and Klebsiella. Okay, so the question was developing. So in a country like India, among these, if you have to choose, you will choose Klebsiella pneumonia. But look at the explanation which has been given. Yes, in the explanation, though Klebsiella pneumonia is the most common cause here, Group B streptococcus is the most common cause in developed countries. Okay, this was also given in the option explanation of this leaderboard question. Okay, so which streptococcus causes neonatal sepsis or infection? It is actually Group B streptococcus. Yes. The next question. This is not actually a question from pediatrics, but this we have discussed in our class as one among the options. Okay, so you should be able to get it right. The question was anti-CD20 antibody. What is the answer? Gemtuzumab, rituximab, imatinib, binatazumab. Okay, among this, one thing you can short rule out. What is it? Imatinib. See, when it is going to be monoclonal antibodies, usually it is going to be MAB. It will end with MAB. Okay, imatinib is actually not. When it is ending with NIB, it is a tyrosine kinase inhibitor. Okay, it is a tyrosine kinase inhibitor. So this could not be a answer for this. What about gemtuzumab, rituximab, and binatuzumab? Gemtuzumab is actually anti-CD33. Okay. Binatuzumab, there's nothing called as binatuzumab. There is something called as obinutuzumab. Okay. It's not binatuzumab, obinutuzumab itself, which is CD20s. But the spelling is not correct here. So among this, which is the answer? The answer is actually rituximab. Rituximab. So where did we discuss this? This is where we discussed. This was one of the questions we discussed in our MRB class. So the question was actually regarding cystic fibrosis, but the options also we discussed as a part of our MCQ discussion. In the option, you can see that we have discussed rituximab is actually anti-CD20 and omalizumab is the one we use in asthma. Okay, so if you have just attended our MRB class and the questions, even with the options, you get so many questions right. Okay, so these were the questions which were from pediatrics, out of which this is actually not core pediatrics, but just as we have discussed, this also we have covered in the recall session. Okay, so hope you have done your exam well. So finger crossed for your results as well. So all the very best for your future endeavors. Thank you.